Hey everyone. So, I am actually in my work clothes right now because I just got home. And I didn't want to wait too long to do this video, seeing as I don't have too much free time as it is now. But I wanted to do a video to cover a couple of topics, little updates. And the first of which is my Master Grade EZ8. This model is what you could call finished? Because I've done all the weathering, I've done all the detailing, I've given the kit the dull coat top finish, and it's looking, I have to say, pretty nice. I mean, considering it's the first time I've ever really done a weathering job on a model kit, and I pretty much invented my own means of going about it, I have to say I think I could have done a lot worse on this, and a lot more things could have gone wrong that didn't. So I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. And I have actually fixed the issues of the weak joints. Basically, I covered all the joints with a little layer or two of this Loctite superglue. It's got a little brush on it too, so I could apply it on the areas I needed. And I let that dry thoroughly. And once it created a very tight, good hold with a lot of friction, and that really did the trick. So I applied that to all the little joints that needed a little extra support, and now this thing is basically rock solid. But that's not what's keeping me from showing the kit. It's one other issue, something that I don't think the glue would be able to fix. It's to do with these weapons, and more specifically with the way that these hands of this kit fail to hold them. I've tried just about everything. I've even resorted to using blue tack between the hands, you know, like the back of the hands and the weapon, and they just do not want to hold these things. For one thing, the way that the handles are angled and the way the hands are shaped, they don't work. They don't mesh up. There's no way that they're ever going to really fit. And if you really overcompensate with the fingers, you get the gun held at some really pathetically awkward sideways downward angle, which looks horrible. So, you know, I've tried doing everything I can from just balancing these things, and it's like nothing works. The only thing this kit can hold right now is its beam saber, and it's only just holding it, I should say. And furthermore, the way these weapons are shaped and the way their weight is distributed, they're very front-heavy. They love to fall and twist out of the hands in a frontward falling, spiraling motion that just irritates me more every time I try to make it work. So, what I'm going to have to do, in some way, is maybe take a cue from Vegeta8259, Henry, who experienced a similar issue with his Master Grade Wing Gundam version EW, or version Ka, whichever. And that kit shares the exact same hands, and the exact same problem, I might add, as the EZ8. It cannot hold that gun. And so what he did was he took like a pin vise or a little screwdriver or whatever, and he drilled a hole in the hands and a little hole in the weapons, and he inserted a little bit of a metal pin or a paper clip or whatever it was, and basically he made a plug system for the hands, and that worked really well. Even with a gigantic BFG like the Wing Gundam has, held it perfectly. So I figure a similar trick might work for these little guys. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do or how to do it. I lack some of the tools he used in his tutorial, but I'll try to figure out something like that. Hopefully nothing too much of an eyesore, because I kind of like the weapons to remain slightly original, you know, not too blemished in the way that, you know, you do all the modifications and then it's obvious you've modded it. Yeah. But whatever. I'll do the best I can with whatever I can scrounge up, and whenever I get it fixed and done, I'll be sure to show off this kit, and finally, then I hope you'll be able to enjoy what I've done. So, Anywho, that does lead me to the next topic, which is regarding whatever I'll do next after that. And that's what I want to devote the majority of this video to. A while back, I found a channel known as Justinius Builds. I'd actually been sort of referenced to it from Gundam UK. And actually this Justinius, he only just finished Master Grade Easy 8 of his own, with its own battle damage and weathering and everything else, and it looks pretty good. So I'll actually have a link to his channel posted in the video description, and you know, he does good work, and I think he deserves some views, so check him out if you got the time. But anyway, more than that, I heard from Gundam UK that Justinius was holding a contest, and even though the contest was closed already by the time I'd heard about it, when I heard what it was about, I knew I wanted to get in on it. Basically, the theme of his contest was about music. Basically, the idea was that you think about an artist, or a genre, or a particular song or style, or an album in particular, or an album cover art, or anything generally relating to music and or how it sort of relates to you. And you take that essence of whatever that is and make it sort of the theme around which you do a custom paint job for a Gundam kit, or any mech kit, I think. And so it doesn't even have to be like your favorite song or your favorite album or artist or anything. It's just something that strikes you in such a way where you think, yeah, when I hear this, or when I see this, or whatever, I think about doing this with a model. It just sort of puts this idea in my head. And I really loved this idea, so much so that, screw the contest, I just want to do this for my own sake. And I have a few ideas of how and why I want to do it. At first I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. But then I watched recently the trailer number 2 for the movie Man of Steel. Now, I haven't gone to see this movie yet. It should have just come out today. I'll probably see it soon enough. But with this one trailer that they did, if you go look up trailer number 2 for Man of Steel, you'll find it. And the music that plays in the first half of that trailer, you know, there's 2 songs, they're sort of blended together, but the first one really kind of struck me as interesting. And it's just it's a kind of style and mood and atmosphere of music that I like. It's sort of light and sort of uplifting and interesting and sort of bright, ambient, with pleasant vocals. In fact, if you've seen the movie Gladiator with Russell Crowe, you've heard music and singing performed by the same singer. So anyway, when the trailer led to the idea of, you know, giving people an ideal to strive towards, and the music itself, and everything, it just sort of led me to memories I have of a good friend from college, who I haven't seen in a long time, and possibly might not get a chance to see anymore, due to time and distance and just the path where lives are on and everything else. I had actually, to be honest, wanted to be more than friends with this girl, and yet this was not to be. But I had come to terms with it, thankfully, and through that I was actually able to have a very meaningful friendship with her. And through that, she's been a very positive influence on my life, and I'm very grateful that I hadn't done anything to ruin the friendship that we had by trying to pursue something that was never going to happen. But through all this, I just connected all the dots together of everything that I'd been thinking of. And I decided that in addition to sort of connecting it to this music contest, I wanted this project to serve as something of a dedication to my friend. Since we don't get to see each other anymore, the only way I have of really keeping her as any continual present part of my life is to try to live up to the ideal of goodness and happiness that she lives her life with, and which she shared with me and many others. And since the last time I've seen her, I've been, in my own ways, trying to do that. And that, along with all the other thematic elements I've described, is what I hope to convey and embody through this project. And hopefully, then, this model will also serve as a reminder of the promise I made to myself to, become a better person and live up to the ideal that I received from her. And you might call this change something of a transformation, which is why I've chose the Master Grade Unicorn Gundam as the kit with which I am going to use for this project. I mean, it's a transforming mobile suit, which connects to the theme of growth and change, as I'd like to think I've done through my friend's presence in my life. The unicorn's true self emerges as a better, stronger, more pure from underneath a rather cold and hard exterior. To represent this cold, hard exterior, I've chosen to use Alclad 2 Chrome for all the white parts. Because even though chrome is a very sort of hard, metallic looking thing, it's also very shining and bright. And, well, a mobile suit in all chrome could very jokingly be referred to as a man of steel. Yeah, I know that was terrible, but anyway, for the internal frame, I had the idea of using this color, which is Testors Model Master Metallizer Burnt Metal Paint. Now this is a very interesting paint because you spray this on with an airbrush, and there you can kind of see the pigment and the color. That mixes up with sort of a gray and metally kind of tone overall in this, and it just creates a sort of warm gunmetal kind of color a little bit. And this paint is part of a line of paints that you can buff to bring out a shine. And I've always wanted to try this on a kit, but I haven't had an opportunity to do it yet. And I think this would look very nice for the internal frame parts, not the psycho frame, but like the hands and the knee armor and all that. So I'll be using that. I also have this metallizer paint, which is brass. Now this is of the non-buffing variety, meaning it looks as good as it does just by spraying it on. And that, as you probably guess, is for the inside of the V-fin. And I've tried out a little sample of this paint. I dipped a toothpick in this paint, mixed it up, and spread it on very rough with this toothpick on a sheet of paper, and I'm telling you, this stuff lays so flat and smooth, and it's nice and durable, and the shine on this is just, oh, it's gorgeous. It is just, I love it. It's like one of my new favorite paints, just for having tested it. I'm looking forward to using that. Also, I'm thinking of doing some kind of a metallic blue for like the feet and the backpack. Now, I had originally picked up this little bottle of blue metal flake from Testors. I mean, it's got a little metallic pigment there, and it's the right shade and tone of blue that I like. It just doesn't seem to reflect the metallic effect very well, unfortunately. So what I may end up doing is maybe using it as part of a candy coat process, or if that doesn't work, I may just go ahead and use some kind of clear blue on top of silver or something like that. And, well, whatever I do, metallic blue will be for the backpack and feet. And it'll be something like this color by the end of it, probably. I also am thinking of applying to the weaponry, though perhaps for the theme of the video I may not have much need to use the weaponry, at least during that part of it maybe, but either way I'll still paint them. And for things like the beam rifle and the bazooka, I thought of using this Tester's Floquill gunmetal. And this is a nice, different kind of shade of gunmetal than something you get from Tamiya. It's almost like a darkened blue steel color. It's interesting. And I think this would be a nice contrast against the burnt metal, like with the inner frame, and the chrome, and the blue for the backpack and feet, and the V-fin. For the ammo packs of the beam rifle, Beam Magnum, I thought about using this color, this sort of, they call it metallic blue from Tamiya, sorry, but you might want to call it like metallic teal or something. And that's kind of the color those ammo packs come in, so I may use that for that part, but again, I'm not positive right now. And that only, as far as I can tell right now, that only leaves the Psycho Frame. Now, I had said initially that I'd be leaving it alone and just doing it as bare plastic. Considering the theme of what I'm doing and what I really want to present through this, I've changed that decision. The color that it comes in initially, that sort of bright, intense, reddish pink, doesn't really fit the mood I'm trying to go for. And it doesn't really fit the music I have in mind with regards to what I'm doing with this project. So I'm going to be changing the color to something else. For now, I'd like to keep it something of a surprise, what that will be. But regardless of how I paint it, or what color I paint it, I mean, I'm going to have to probably apply some kind of a primer. Now, the tricky part about that is that this material that the Psycho Frame is made out of is slightly rubbery. It's not like ABS plastic or polystyrene. It's a little different, I think. It's not too dissimilar from, say, polycap material. And I know from experience that paint of most types will not stick to polycap material, or materials that are somewhat more flexible and rubbery. But lacquer paints seem to do a little better, which is why I thought of trying this Model Master lacquer paint, and it's a flat white paint. Now, the white is to conceal the undercolor of the original Psycho Frame, but also to make sure that the paint I spray on top of it sticks better and doesn't just scrape off in the transformation, which I may have to do a few tweaks and modifications with the armor, to make sure there's room for things to slide without scratching. But at any rate, I'm going to have to test this out on a sample piece because I cannot afford to ruin the Psycho Frame with a paint that will eat through it or something like that. And it's possible that may happen with lacquer paints. I don't know this, but like I say, I gotta test it out. But whatever I'll do, I'll need some kind of a primer to sort of conceal the undercolor and help the paint I put on top of it stick. And now I'm just repeating myself. But anywho, I guess for now, that's all I can really say on the project. If you want to look up the the video, that the trailer with the music, or if you want to just listen to the song itself on its own, I could have a link to that in the video description as well. But either way, just so you have some idea of what I'm going for, that, you know, if you want to check that out, go ahead. And I may also incorporate a bit of this music theme to the work in progress videos I'll try to do for this kit. And I'm not exactly sure what I'll use yet, but I'll try to keep with the theme, and hopefully that'll be enjoyable as well. But I have no idea when I'll get a chance to start this, and I'm honestly not too sure of how well this will all turn out. I mean, it's the first time I've ever chrome plated a kit, or chrome painted a kit, I should say. But I figure, you know, in embracing sort of the theme, you know, how many other chrome kits am I going to do before this one? How many more ways am I going to be able to prepare for something like this? I mean, it's the kind of thing you just sort of have to jump into with both feet and do the best you can. So I will do the best I can, and hopefully I will be able to pull this off and have a very nice and meaningful display piece to have at the end of it. And I hope you'll look forward to whatever I get done, and whenever I get it done. Like I say, I'm working, so it's going to be a long time before it's finished, I'm sure. But I hope you'll be patient. And anyway, I will quit rambling now, and I will let you go. So, thank you for watching. I hope you look forward to whatever I have in the future here, including the Easy 8. And until the next time, I'll catch you later, everybody.